You know, dental work can be so nerve-wracking, especially when it's our fur babies that are getting work done. If you're new to my world, welcome. I'm Dr. Vicky, general chiropractor for people as well as pets, Reiki healer, mind body coach. I'm here to help you and your fur babies be their very best. And my fur baby, also our official spokes cat, Tally, who is currently on an adventure. I was hoping she would be on camera, but Tally recently had to get a dental cleaning done, and while she was under for that, they found 3 teeth that had to be taken out. This is her first time of having teeth removed. I was more concerned than she was probably, but it was an interesting, challenging time for all of us. She gets, crammed in her carrier and taken on a car ride, which is stressful enough as it is. She's kept in a kennel at the animal hospital who takes such good care of her, but there was a very large, very loud dog all day that she had to listen to as her neighbor. And gets the dental procedure done, has to have some teeth taken out, has to wait to come out of anesthesia, hanging out at the vet's office until she can be cleared to be released, finally get her home, and she's on a soft food only diet, which means no kibble and no crunchy treats. The horror, she could not have her favorite treats. This was traumatic for all of us. The humans had to put the treats away so that we wouldn't accidentally give her any. And her poor little face was so puffy. But I was able to help her through that. Am I helping her be more at ease? The humans were able to be a little more at ease because we didn't have to worry about what she was going through quite as much. Dental work is so necessary and important. Good dental health leads to good whole body health. I'm sure you've heard this before, but in case you haven't, our pets have a lot of gross gunk in their mouths. Spoiler alert, so do humans. And if we don't take good care of their teeth, all of that gunk, that bacteria, that grossness can actually get into their bloodstream and give them some really not happy, really nasty whole body health challenges. Not to mention nasty breath when someone decides to meow in my face. Like, oh, honey, you got something going on in there. And discomfort. I could tell Tally needed some help because she didn't want to chew her kibble or her crunchy treats anymore. She was just swallowing them whole because it was too uncomfortable to chew. Some pets, if they really need some dental work, they will not eat as much. And then we've got some nutritional challenges going on because they're not getting enough good stuff in their bodies. So that dental work, so important, so necessary, even though we can tend to be a little bit of a wreck. But that dental work can also affect our pet's neurologic system, that whole communication system that tells their brain what to tell their body and their body what to tell their brain and makes everything communicate and operate like it's supposed to. Not just muscles and joints, but internal organs, immune system, everything, reflexes, everything. That dental work, they have to be put under anesthesia for dental work. And that anesthesia can affect their whole nervous system. It can also affect, the procedure itself can affect how they feel in their whole body. Because what they go through during a dental procedure is not just what happens inside their mouth. It's not just the teeth cleaning itself and cleaning the gums or removing teeth. That's part of it. But what also affects them is how their bodies have to be positioned and handled while they're under full anesthesia, while they're asleep, so that the dentist can get in there and do what they need to do to help our fur babies have the healthiest mouth and body that they can, but their bodies have to go through some awkward things. Our pets are not designed to be laid in those positions for long periods of time. If they were awake and conscious, they would probably roll over because it's not comfortable to be in for very long. Or the handling and positioning that has to happen if there needs to be a tooth extraction that has to happen. It's also, not just what goes on in the mouth and in the body from the positioning and the handling. It's also how the anesthesia that they have to need, or that they have to have, how that affects their whole nervous system as it's working its way out of their body. So it's not just what's going on while they're asleep. That anesthesia continues to affect them as they're coming back up, and for quite a bit of time afterwards as well, while all of that is filtering through their system. Even once they're up and awake and home, they're still working through some of that anesthesia. It can also, that whole dental procedure can lead to swelling and inflammation that can affect the whole body, which means increased aches and pains, especially if you've got a pet that's already got maybe some arthritis going on, maybe some hip dysplasia or elbow dysplasia or some sort of challenge where they're more prone to have aches and pains and inflammation. Now they're going to have more, because if there's inflammation in one part of the body, it's going to spread elsewhere. And especially if they get put on something like a soft food diet for a short period of time while they're healing from those extractions, that can have an impact on their nutrition, which has an impact on their whole health. Phew, that was a lot. There's a lot of components that go into the dental procedure itself, and a lot of things to consider when you get them home afterwards. So, what can we do at home after our fur babies have those really important dental procedures, whether there needs to be teeth taken out or not, to help them get back to their very best as quickly as possible? Minimize what's going on that's affecting their bodies, that's affecting their nervous system, that's affecting their comfort and their nutrition and their overall health, helping them be their very best. Because that's what we want. We want our fur babies to have the highest quality of life possible, to live life as if they are unleashed. Not literally, because we want to keep them safe, but having that unleashed lifestyle. So what can you do when you get home? First thing to do as soon as you get home is monitor your fur baby in a safe area. They are fresh out of anesthesia. Even if you had to take a little bit longer to pick them up past their earliest release time that the vet office said that you could pick them up, maybe you had to finish work, maybe you had to pick up the kids, maybe you needed to take care of yourself and get some dinner before you went to pick them up. Whatever happened, whenever you do get them home, they're still working through some of that leftover anesthesia that's still kicking around, which means they will have decreased coordination and decreased reflexes. So even the most agile of cats or the most energetic of dogs, we want to monitor them in a safe area, avoiding stairs, keeping an eye on them, helping them up to different levels or down to different levels like the couch or a cat tree. We want to really make sure they're not jumping off of something, because their reflexes to catch them on the landing might not be firing quite as quickly as they should. And if something happens, if they take a tumble, or if they don't catch themselves like they're supposed to, or they jump up and they kind of miss it a little bit and case the landing, they trip over their front feet trying to jump up on something, that can lead to some injuries that we want to avoid. So keep an eye on them, help them to different level changes, and try to avoid stairs if you can. And follow every vet recommendation that they give you. That includes meds, and that includes changes to the diet. Now, the next point, let's talk about those changes in the diet. Like I said, the Tally Cat had to go on soft food only for a week. So, step one for us was putting away all of the crunchies, because the big dumb humans, I'm pointing to myself with both hands, a little bit to my husband, but mostly to myself, we are creatures of habit. We have the crunchy treats scattered throughout the house, different containers throughout the house, so that whenever we want to give her some treats, we can just grab them. They're right there. And we do it without even thinking. So as soon as we got home, actually I called my husband on the way home. We hadn't even gotten home yet. Tally's still strapped into the passenger seat. I'm like, babe, we got to put away the treats so that we don't forget and accidentally give her some. So we had to take care of her by helping ourselves remember. Now, soft foods for a lot of pets, that might end up being that you grab a couple of different cans of things to try different things. If you have a pet that's already used to wet food, Callie always gets a combination. She always gets some wet food, and she always has some dry food on hand too, whichever she feels like eating at the time. But she also recently got switched to a prescription wet food, which means she has the same flavor of wet food every day, all the time. And some pets, just like humans, get freaking bored of eating the same thing all the time. See, in the past, before she was on the prescription food, we got a variety of different flavors of wet foods that every time she had some wet food, she got a different flavor. It wasn't the same thing all the time. We switched to the prescription, which is the same flavor all the time, but she could have different flavors now and then from the crunchy treats or from her kibble. For this week after her dental, it was nothing but the wet food. And that was it. And she got real bored real fast. Some pets, when they're hungry, they will eat anything that you put in front of them, even if they don't want it. Some pets, like Queen Sheba Tallycat, her royal fluffiness, will not deign to eat something that she does not want. She does not care how hungry she is. She will turn up her nose and walk away and flick her tail and go, feed me something better, pesky peasants. Typical cat, right? But it was so important that she get enough calories so that she could stay healthy, not lose weight. We wanted to keep her nutrition good. So if you're in a situation like that, where your pet's getting bored of the same old, but they're on a soft food only diet, you can find some different flavors of mix-ins to mix into their wet food to at least give it a different flavor each time. They make wet food treats that don't have a whole lot of caloric nutritional value, but it's a little different flavor. Mix it in with the wet food that they should be eating, and you'll be good to go. Or they make different wet food additives or different wet additives that you're supposed to mix with wet food or dry. Obviously, if they're on a soft food only diet, we're just mixing them in with the dry. There's different gravies, there's different broths you can mix in. I found that they're called bisques. Like, you know how if you would go to the restaurant, you might get like a lobster bisque. Yeah, Callie's very fancy. She now has kitty bisques that we mix in with her wet food just to give her a little different flavor. It keeps it a little more interesting, and it keeps her eating as much as she's supposed to instead of under eating and not getting the nutrition she's supposed to. So mix up those flavors so that they can get enough nutrients. If they're on a soft food only diet and you find, you got the can of food, but you grabbed it out of the fridge, because cans can be a little more than some of our smaller pets can eat all at once. So you pop a lid on it and stick it in the fridge, right? So it doesn't go bad. That cold wet food, which maybe you got metal bowls, so you don't want to throw it in the microwave. Maybe you're worried about overheating it and burning them, so you don't want to throw it in the microwave. You just want to serve it to them cold. Sure, fine. When the wet food is cold, it's a little more solid, so they still have to kind of chew it. And if they're real tender and swollen in their mouth from their dental, they might not want to chew it. You can mix it with some water and thin it down that way. Callie much prefers to have it kind of thinned down and watered down. So, last but not least, we've talked about when you get them home, monitor them in a safe place, follow all the vet's recommendations for medications and diet changes if they need to happen. If they're on a soft food only diet, if you got some cold or some stiffer food that you just pulled out of the fridge, you can thin it down with some water so it's easier to eat. And you can mix in a variety of different toppers or flavor mix-ups, wet treats. Mix that in with the wet food so that they've got a little variety and they don't get bored. And they still get nutrients. Last, we can help them get back to feeling their very best ASAP by helping them relieve the aches and pains and tweaks that might have happened during the procedure while they were sleeping. and boost their nervous system as it comes back online, as that anesthesia works its way out of their system after you get them home. And the best way to do that is with gentle chiropractic care. Yes, chiropractic care, we know it helps with the joints and the muscles, and that is a big component of what can be giving them some challenges whole body after dental work. Chiropractic care also helps boost the immune system to work at its very best and fire on all cylinders, which is absolutely what they need after their nervous system has been dampened down by the anesthesia. We want to help it come back online in a healthy and functional way. Chiropractic is great for that. You can have your pet get adjusted by an animal chiropractor the same day that they have their dental. However, I do not recommend having them adjusted while they are fully under anesthesia and asleep. When anyone, two-legged, four-legged, or three-legged, is under anesthesia, when our fur babies are completely asleep, humans too, the anesthesia is there to turn off all of the reflexes, to turn off everything that's going on, all those signals, and quiet everything down, so that the docs and the techs can get in and do whatever it is that they need to do. What that means is the body is not able to respond to what is happening to it in a mechanical way. If somebody starts to twist your arm, you're going to tense to keep it from going too far. If somebody's starting to push you over, you're going to tense up your body to prevent that from happening so that you don't fall and splat on the floor. Under anesthesia, those muscle reflexes aren't there anymore. If your pet is getting chiropractic care while asleep and fully under anesthesia, there is no feedback there. A big part of how chiropractic care works is someone like me, a trained chiropractor, will place hands on the body, and the body will tell us what is going on. We have a conversation through touch. How I touch and how the body responds to my touch gives me a wealth of information. And when the pet or the human is under full anesthesia, there's no communication back. So it's real hard to tell exactly what it is that person or that pet needs. And it's real hard to tell how safely making an adjustment can be, because there's no reflex there to protect the body from things being pushed a little too far. So once they are awake and responsive, then it's safe. It's safe same day. Maybe the next day, if you want to set up an appointment the next day, that's great too. But getting some gentle chiropractic care as soon as you can, once you get them back from that dental procedure, can help boost that nervous system, get it back online and firing at its very best, which is going to help them feel and function their very best. It's going to minimize any of those aches and pains and little tweaks that could have happened from the positioning and the handling during the dental procedure. And it'll help calm down some of that inflammation that's happening whole body. So now you've got some great ways to help support your pet after dental work. By the way, if you're looking to see if gentle chiropractic care might be right for your pet, either after the dental work or for something else that they've got going on, reach out to me. Let's have a quick no charge chat over the phone. And I'd love to hear more about your fur baby, what they've got going on, and what it is you really want them to be experiencing, how you want life to go for them. What's it going to take to get them to be their very best? So reach out to me. You can call or text 636-751-3150 or visit my website at completewellnesscc.com. Dental work can be so nerve-wracking, but now you've got some great tips on how to help your fur baby be their very best, how to support them after you get them home. I look forward to hearing from you next time. In the meantime, please go and give your fur baby some love. I'm going to go find my cat and smother her in kisses. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.